Do you believe in the existence of time travel and parallel worlds? Or do you think it's impossible to travel through time? If you believe that time travel is pure fantasy, you're going to change your mind after watching this video. We've done extensive research and now want to present to you 13 fascinating, incredible cases of time travel and parallel worlds that will leave you speechless. So get comfortable and grab yourself a tasty snack. Number 13. The Vanished Village. The following incident is said to have truly happened and is one of the most mysterious and chilling events ever linked to time travel and parallel worlds. In 1923, something extremely puzzling happened in Brazil that remains unsolved to this day. The entire population of the small village of Verde, consisting of around 600 people, vanished without a trace. This event not only baffled investigators, but also left behind countless unanswered questions and eerie theories. The only clue the villagers left behind was a sign with the disturbing words, "There is no salvation." One morning in 1923, a traveler entered the village of Verde and found it completely deserted. The houses were unlocked, as if the residents had vanished in the middle of their daily activities. On the tables stood half-full cups of coffee, and in the kitchens lay unprepared food. Everything indicated the villagers had left in a hurry, yet there were no signs of struggle or panic. The only unusual thing left behind was a board in the center of the village. On this board, written in large letters, were the words, "There is no salvation." But what could that mean? And who left this mysterious message? Some people believe supernatural forces may have been involved. These theories range from alien abductions to spiritual or demonic activity. One theory claims the villagers belonged to a secret cult or sect and believed in an upcoming apocalypse. The message, "There is no salvation," could reflect their belief that there was no way to escape the coming doom. Maybe they faced a catastrophe they believed to be so inevitable and final that they lost all hope and left the village. But by far the most fascinating theory about the disappearance of the people of Verde is that they found a way to travel into another dimension or world. It is believed that the villagers formed a sect that possessed hidden writings and esoteric knowledge. Allegedly, after the villagers vanished, Brazilian authorities discovered strange objects and books during their investigation that indicated that the people of Verde held secret ceremonies. These ancient writings are said to contain detailed rituals and practices that made it possible to manipulate space and time and travel into parallel worlds. It is believed the vanished villagers performed ceremonies in which they carried out ancient rituals. That gave them access to other dimensions. The place where these mysterious rituals took place was in the forest near the village. The villagers supposedly used a complex mix of mystical symbols, special mantras, and extraordinary herbs to break through the boundaries of our reality and open portals to other dimensions. A portal is a connection between different places, times, or dimensions that allows you to move from one to another without delay. Some people believe the inhabitants of Verde really did manage to open some kind of dimensional gate and travel through this portal to a foreign world. That would also explain their mysterious, sudden disappearance. The puzzling message, "There is no salvation," suggests they planned all of this and knew they were traveling to a place from which there was no return. So is it possible, through special practices and rituals, to travel through space and time and open portals to unknown foreign worlds? Were the people of Verde truly in possession of ancient, secret knowledge that allowed them to manipulate space-time? Quite an imagination-stirring idea. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Number 12. The Dodleston Messages. The following case, known as the Dodleston Messages, is an incredibly mysterious and puzzling event. A man received messages on his computer that came from the year 1546. In other words, he was in direct communication with a person. who lived more than 400 years in the past. In 1984, 29-year-old Ken Webster, a teacher from Dodleston, England, reported a very strange and baffling event that still raises many questions today and continues to fuel numerous theories. Ken, his girlfriend Deb, and their friend Nick were staying in their shared holiday cottage when they noticed strange messages suddenly appearing on Ken's computer. The messages came from a mysterious man named Lucas, who claimed to live in the 16th century. Lucas wrote that he lived in the same house as Ken, but in a different time, the year 1546. The communication took place through Ken's computer, a BBC Micro, a popular home computer model in the 1980s in the UK. This computer had no internet connection, since the internet for private use didn't exist at the time. The messages from Lucas appeared in a text file on the computer in an unexplained way, as if they had been left there directly. Lucas wrote in an Old English dialect that Ken and his friends didn't fully understand at first. They tried to communicate with the man from 1546 by replying in the same text files. They asked Lucas questions about his life, his time, and how he received the messages. Lucas described his life in the 16th century, his surroundings, and his confusion about the ghostly messages that suddenly appeared in his house. Lucas was deeply confused and disturbed by the messages he received, viewing them as magical or supernatural. After all, in 1546, there were no technological devices or electrical power like we know today. And this is where things get even more mysterious. Lucas claimed that he saw the messages from Ken and his friends in 1984 on a slate board. A slate board is a flat board on which you can write and draw with chalk. The messages written on the computer by Ken Webster and his friends appeared as if written by a ghost on Lucas's slate board in 1546. Likewise, the messages from 1546, which Lucas wrote in chalk on his slate board, mysteriously appeared in 1984 in the text files on Ken Webster's computer. This supernatural communication allowed a kind of exchange across centuries. This phenomenon led to wild speculation and theories. Some people believe it was a form of time travel, in which messages were sent across hundreds of years. Others suspect interdimensional communication, where different timelines make direct contact. Some researchers believe that time is only an illusion, and that the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. Imagine that the past, present, and future are like different pages of a giant book. Each page represents a moment in time. Once we've read a page, we can't go back and read it again because we've moved on to the next page. But that doesn't mean the pages we've already read don't exist anymore. They're still there. We just can't access them directly. It's similar with time. When something happens in the past, it still exists somewhere, even if we can no longer interact with it directly. That means the past doesn't disappear. It just becomes inaccessible to us. In the case of Ken Webster and Lucas, it might very well be that a disturbance in space-time allowed a connection across centuries. From Ken's perspective, it was communication with the past. From Lucas's perspective, living in 1546, it was contact with the future. A pretty wild, yet absolutely fascinating idea. Ken Webster published his book, The Vertical Plane, in 1989, in which he describes the mysterious events surrounding the messages from the 16th century in detail. Did Ken Webster really communicate with a man who lived in 1546? Could it be that the boundaries between different times are more permeable than we think? The story of Ken Webster and Lucas reminds us that our world is full of strange and mysterious phenomena that we humans cannot understand, let alone explain. Number 11. Houska Castle, the gateway to hell. Do you believe in the idea of heaven and hell? That's exactly what this story is all about. There's a castle with a deep, black hole inside it, a chasm that is said to lead straight into hell. There was even a brave man who dared to descend into that hole. What happened to him is absolutely shocking, but more on that in a moment. In the heart of the Czech Republic stands a castle shrouded in dark legends and eerie tales, Houska Castle. This imposing fortress, built in the 13th century, earned its place in folklore, not just for its architectural beauty, but especially for the sinister secrets it is said to hold. One of the most mysterious and chilling aspects of the castle is the legend that it was built on top of a gateway to hell. According to tradition, beneath Houska Castle lies a deep hole, a chasm that's said to be a direct passage into the underworld. Long before the castle was built, this hole is said to have already existed, and people claimed that demons and spirits rose from it to haunt the surrounding area. Locals told of horrifying creatures spotted near the chasm, and of unsettling sounds echoing up from its depths. The construction of the castle was reportedly demanded by the people of the region at the time, in order to seal the gateway to hell and contain the evil forces. Interestingly, Houska Castle features very unusual architectural traits. It has no defensive structures that suggest it was built to fend off invaders. Many believe the castle was built primarily to keep something inside, not to protect against enemies from the outside. One particularly frightening story revolves around a convicted criminal who was offered a chance to escape his sentence. If he agreed to be lowered into the chasm beneath Houska Castle and report what he saw, tied up and lowered by guards into the depths, he was soon heard screaming in absolute terror. When the guards hurriedly pulled him back up, they were met with a horrifying sight. His dark hair had turned completely white within minutes. His eyes were wide with fear. He mumbled incoherently, unable to speak clearly. Shortly afterward, he died, without ever revealing what he had seen in the darkness. To this day, no one knows what unspeakable horror this man witnessed. Researchers of the paranormal believe that the hole beneath Houska Castle is a portal to the underworld. It is seen as a passage between the realm of the living and another, darker, unknown dimension. Houska Castle now attracts countless tourists drawn by its dark legends and eerie atmosphere. Some visitors claim to have seen ghostly apparitions or heard strange sounds during their visits. So is there truly an entrance to hell beneath this castle? Is that black chasm really a portal that connects us to an unknown world? A deeply unsettling thought. Number 10. The mysterious man from a parallel world. This well-documented case from the 19th century is an extremely puzzling and inexplicable event that some people consider proof of the existence of parallel worlds and time travel. In 1851, a mysterious incident in the German city of Frankfurt an der Oder caused a great stir. A stranger who identified himself as Jophar Vorin suddenly appeared and claimed to come from an unknown land called Laxaria. This incident, known as the Laxaria Affair, still raises questions today, and leads to fascinating speculation about parallel worlds and time travel. Jophar Vorin, a confused stranger, was found wandering near Frankfurt an der Oder. He spoke a language no one could recognize, and wore clothing that was noticeably different from European fashion at the time. The local authorities who interrogated him noticed that he communicated in a mix of broken German and an unknown language. Eventually, they were able to understand part of what he said. And now things get mysterious. Vorin explained that he came from a land called Laxaria, located on a continent named Sakria. He described Laxaria as a wealthy and peaceful country, ruled by a king. His descriptions of the geography and culture of Laxaria were highly detailed, yet this land was not marked on any map. They asked him why he could speak German, and now it gets even stranger. Vorin claimed that German was an old language that was no longer spoken, but that he still knew parts of it. The officials believed the man to be insane and presented him with a map showing all known countries at the time, asking Vorin to show them where Laxaria was located. What followed astonished the officials. When Vorin looked at the map, he appeared deeply confused, and finally pointed to the area where the German city of Frankfurt an der Oder was located. He said that his homeland, Laxaria, should be located there. Vorin believed the map was either incorrect or outdated. It's important to know that the modern nation of Germany in its present form was founded on January 18, 1871, and in 1851, the city of Frankfurt an der Oder belonged to the Kingdom of Prussia. Vorin went on to claim that he had been walking in a forest when he suddenly entered some kind of time tunnel or portal into our world and didn't know how to return. What was especially fascinating was Jophar Vorin's description of the events that led to his arrival in Germany. He spoke of a journey in which he was suddenly surrounded by a strange light, and had the sensation of traveling through space and time. When he stepped out of the shimmering light, he found himself in a foreign land, which he later recognized as Germany. The authorities and scholars examined Vorin's origins and statements thoroughly. They discovered that he possessed knowledge and abilities that were unusual for the time. His knowledge of geography and technology seemed far more advanced than one would expect in the mid-19th century. Some of the written notes he carried with him were composed in an unknown script and could not be deciphered. Vorin's story triggered countless theories and speculations. Some were convinced that he really did come from a parallel world and had traveled to our world through a portal. Others believed that Vorin did not come from a parallel world at all, but was a time traveler from the future who had been accidentally thrown back to the year 1851, because Vorin also reportedly claimed that he came from the year 2083. Despite extensive investigations, the existence of Laxaria or the truth of Vorin's story could neither be confirmed nor disproven. After being kept under strict guard for several days, Jophar Vorin vanished just as suddenly as he had appeared. Some people believed Vorin was a fraud or a mentally unstable man who had invented a complicated story to gain attention, but that doesn't explain why he disappeared into thin air, despite being carefully guarded. There was no trace of him and no clue as to his whereabouts. Did Jophar Vorin somehow manage to return to his own world? Did this man truly come from an alternate reality, where the world was different and events took an entirely different course? Or was he in fact a genuine time traveler from the future, who landed in the past due to some kind of temporal anomaly? Number 9. The ghost ship Mary Celeste. The mystery of the Mary Celeste is one of the most puzzling and well-known stories in maritime history. In 1872, the Mary Celeste, a sailing ship, was found drifting abandoned in the Atlantic. The circumstances under which it was discovered are still the subject of countless theories and speculations. On December 4, 1872, the crew of the British ship Dei Gratia discovered the Mary Celeste in a condition that raised questions and left a trail of mysteries behind. The ship was abandoned, yet it showed no signs of struggle or disaster. The sails were partially set, and the ship itself was in remarkably good condition. All the crew's personal belongings, clothing, and even valuables were still on board. The supplies of food and drinking water were enough to last for months, and the ship's logbook remained intact, but it stopped abruptly on November 25th, about 9 days before it was found. There are several very interesting theories about what might have happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste. One theory suggests pirates, but there were no signs of violence or robbery. Weather could also have played a role. Some speculate that a sudden storm or massive waves might have struck the ship, forcing the crew to abandon it. But even then, where in the middle of the Atlantic would they have gone? Some people go as far as speculating about supernatural influences, like sea monsters, or even alien abductions. But the most fascinating and chilling theory that tries to explain the crew's mysterious disappearance is this: that the Mary Celeste may have passed through an area in the Atlantic where a dimensional portal or a time anomaly existed. But why did only the crew vanish while the ship itself remained untouched? Well, this theory suggests the ship entered some kind of invisible portal that only allows organic material, like humans and animals, to pass through, while non-organic materials like the ship itself and the items on board stay behind. Imagine this portal as a kind of veil between worlds that suddenly appeared in the ocean. As the Mary Celeste sailed through this veil, the crew may have unknowingly been drawn into another dimension or time. The portal could have acted like a filter, only allowing living beings like humans to pass through, because they carry a specific biological or energetic signature that interacts with the portal. The ship, made of wood, metal, and other non-organic materials, remained behind because it didn't resonate with the portal's energy. It's also possible that the portal was only open for a very brief moment, but long enough to pull the crew through before it closed again. This would also explain why there were no further traces or clues about the mysterious disappearance. The crew could have been transported to another time or an unknown dimension, from which there was no return, while the ship continued to drift in our world. That could also explain why the ship itself was found in such good condition. It was as if the crew simply vanished into thin air in the middle of their daily tasks. This theory offers a fascinating and eerie explanation for the disappearance of the Mary Celeste's crew. It sparks the imagination and raises exciting questions about the limits of our reality and the possibility of parallel worlds or time anomalies. It remains a mystery that reminds us how little we humans truly understand about the universe's secrets. So, what really happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste? Were they truly transported into a parallel world? Or did they perhaps travel into another time? We will probably never know. Number 8. The Mysterious House. Some stories are so unbelievable and fascinating that they're often published as novels, even when they're based on true events. That seems to be the case with the story of the mysterious house in Virginia and the photographer Will Navidson. This story, immortalized in Mark Z. Danielewski's novel House of Leaves, feels so real and detailed that some people are convinced it's based on a true account that really happened. During the 1990s, photographer Will Navidson reported extremely unusual and disturbing phenomena in his new house in Virginia. Shortly after moving in, Navidson and his family noticed that the inside of their house was significantly larger than the outside. That fact alone was strange, but the true extent of the anomaly revealed itself when new rooms and hallways suddenly began to appear, leading into a chilling and endless darkness. These areas seemed infinite, as if they had no fixed boundaries. Each time they were entered, the corridors looked different. Their length and shape seemed to change at random. Sometimes they branched off in different directions, with no logical or recognizable pattern. The rooms that opened up were often empty and cold, wrapped in an extremely eerie atmosphere. One particularly strange feature of these rooms and corridors was that they seemed to defy the laws of physics. A hallway that appeared to be just a few meters long turned into an endless passage once you stepped inside. These inexplicable shifts and the eerie nature of the rooms and corridors caused enormous fear and confusion for the Navidson family, and turned the house into a place of terror and mystery. But how could a house that appears totally normal on the outside contain such massive space on the inside? Where did these endless rooms and corridors lead? Were they perhaps passageways to other dimensions or realities? One thing was certain: something was very, very wrong with this mysterious house. Determined to find a rational explanation for the bizarre events, Will Navidson began documenting everything meticulously with his camera. He filmed the inexplicable changes and tried to explore the seemingly endless, pitch-black corridors. But despite all his efforts and intensive investigations, the origins and nature of these phenomena remained unsolved. Even experts were completely baffled and unable to offer any explanation. Some researchers believe that the Navidson house may sit on a nexus point between different dimensions or layers of reality. It is suspected that the property may act as a portal to other dimensions or parallel worlds, where space and time become distorted. A portal is like a gateway that lets you travel from one place to another, often across great distances, or even between different layers of reality and parallel worlds. Portals break the normal boundaries of space and time and allow impossible journeys to take place. Parallel worlds are alternative universes that exist alongside our own. These worlds may resemble ours, or they may be completely different, following different laws of nature or historical events. The idea is that every decision we make creates a new parallel world where another version of ourselves exists, taking a different path. Some experts suspect that there are certain locations on Earth that act as nexus points and connect various parallel worlds or dimensions. Such nexus points could explain the unnatural phenomena like the endless shifting corridors and rooms in the Navidson house. Portals located at these nexus points make transitions between countless parallel worlds and dimensions possible. Examples of such nexus points include the Bermuda Triangle, where many ships and planes have vanished without a trace, or certain ancient structures, like the Egyptian pyramids, which many cultures believe to be gateways to other worlds. So could this mysterious house really be an entrance to foreign worlds? Who knows? Number 7. The Time Tunnel. The following incredible incident is a true event, and one of the most mysterious occurrences in aviation history. On December 4th, 1970, a man named Bruce Gernon experienced a baffling and astonishing phenomenon during a flight over the Bahamas, something no one has been able to explain to this day. Bruce, an experienced pilot, was on a routine flight in his small aircraft when he suddenly flew into a strange cloud formation. He later described the experience as the time tunnel phenomenon, which became one of the most fascinating stories in aviation. During the flight, Bruce noticed an extremely unusual cloud formation that was rapidly shifting and strangely dense. When he flew into the cloud, he realized that it had a spiral structure that looked like a tunnel. Bruce reported that the aircraft inside this tunnel was surrounded by a bright, blinding light. He felt like he was flying through a long, cylindrical corridor formed by swirling walls of cloud. After just a few minutes, Bruce noticed the plane suddenly emerging from the cloud formation and entering clear sky. To his shock, he realized that he had traveled about 100 miles in just 3 minutes. Normally, his aircraft would have needed at least half an hour to cover that distance. If you travel 100 miles in 3 minutes, that corresponds to a speed of about 2,000 miles per hour. That's an incredibly high speed and far beyond what a typical light aircraft could ever reach. Bruce Gernon was flying a Beechcraft Bonanza, a small single-engine aircraft. The maximum cruising speed of a Beechcraft Bonanza is about 200 miles per hour. This is far below the speed Bruce actually achieved during his time tunnel experience. Even modern passenger planes, which can reach a top speed of around 550 miles per hour, cannot come close to such speed. This extraordinary fact remains one of the most fascinating and inexplicable elements of his experience. After the incident, Bruce noticed that the navigation instruments and clocks in his aircraft were malfunctioning. The instruments displayed inaccurate values, and the clocks showed significant time discrepancies. It seemed as if the normal laws of space and time had been suspended while flying through the time tunnel. Scientists and experts were fascinated by Bruce Gernon's report and attempted to explain the phenomenon. Some speculated that it was a rare meteorological anomaly, while others suggested that the aircraft might have passed through an unknown physical phenomenon, perhaps something similar to a wormhole. A wormhole is a hypothetical connection between two different points in the space-time fabric, allowing you to travel extremely quickly from one point to another, possibly even to faraway places in the universe. It's like a shortcut through space. Bruce Gernon's experience greatly contributed to the legend of the Bermuda Triangle, a notorious region. Known for the mysterious disappearance of many ships and aircraft, it has even been suggested that these vanished ships and planes may have been drawn into another dimension or parallel world. Some believe Bruce flew through a kind of space-time anomaly that occurs in the Bermuda Triangle, because that's the only way to explain how his plane was able to travel such a vast distance in just a few minutes. Despite many theories and investigations, The true nature of the time tunnel Bruce flew through remains a mystery. Bruce Gernon documented his experience in detail and even published books about it in the hope that other pilots might have observed similar phenomena. His experience remains one of the most well-documented and credible reports of time travel and space-time distortions in modern history. So did this man really fly through some sort of wormhole? Or was it perhaps even a small journey into the future? The curious fact that the instruments and clocks in Bruce Gernon's aircraft showed significant time deviations could also indicate that he and his plane experienced some kind of time jump. Number 6. The ghost telephone, a connection to other dimensions. Do you believe that after death, we continue to exist in another place or on another plane? Do you believe it's possible to make contact with people who have passed away? If you think that's impossible, you may change your mind after hearing the following story. A man is said to have succeeded in developing a device that made it possible to establish a connection to other dimensions, including communication with the dead. Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors of his time, is believed to have worked on a mysterious project in the early 1920s, a device that would make the voices of the dead audible. This so-called ghost telephone was more than just a technical challenge for Edison. It opened the door to a world full of mysteries. Edison, famous for groundbreaking inventions like the light bulb and the phonograph, was always driven to push the limits of science. The ghost telephone was an attempt to make the unimaginable real. Rumor has it that Edison developed a device that made communication with the dead possible. This idea didn't just fascinate Edison. It captivated the entire world, which was thrilled by the possibility of contacting the afterlife. The concept behind Thomas Edison's ghost telephone was based on the idea that souls or spirits possess a kind of energy or frequency that could potentially be recorded or made audible. Edison believed that if this form of energy truly existed, it might be detectable with the right device. He envisioned creating a machine capable of amplifying this energy and converting it into audible tones, enabling communication with the dead. Absolutely fascinating. However, the ghost telephone remained purely theoretical and was never put into practice. Yet some believe that this device, which would make contact with the afterlife possible, was indeed developed and still exists today. But Edison's ghost telephone is said to be kept strictly secret. The thrilling idea of hearing the voices of the dead led to massive speculation surrounding Edison's research. Some suggest that he wasn't just working on a device to communicate with the afterlife, but also on technologies related to time travel. Edison is said to have received help from a true genius in this field, Nikola Tesla. Edison's relationship with Tesla was complex and often marked by rivalry. But despite their differences, there are indications that Edison and Tesla collaborated on secret projects. Documents suggest that they worked together on the invention of a time machine. Some believe that Edison and Tesla actually managed to build a working time machine that allowed travel both into the future and the past. These two geniuses are even said to have conducted experiments in which they sent small objects several minutes into the future. These objects, which suddenly disappeared, reappeared a few minutes later. The blueprints and the time machine itself were reportedly confiscated. Today, they are believed to be in the hands of powerful individuals hidden from the public. Did these two men truly manage to create a functioning time machine? Has time travel perhaps been possible for a long time already? Who knows? Number 5. The portal in Helltown. Do you believe in ghosts or demonic beings? If not, you may change your mind after hearing the following story. There is a place that is said to contain a portal through which terrifying creatures and entities from other dimensions enter our world. Deep in the heart of Ohio, USA, nestled within the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, lies an abandoned village known as Helltown. This village has earned a dark reputation and is believed to be a place haunted by malevolent forces. The stories and legends surrounding Helltown are numerous and chilling, and many people believe it may even serve as an entry point to demonic dimensions. The abandoned houses and empty streets give Helltown a ghostly atmosphere. It is said that the residents once fled the village in panic, fearing the strange and supernatural forces believed to be at work there. Reports of eerie sounds, unexplained apparitions, and a constant feeling of dread are common among the few who dare to visit Helltown. Some say that at night, shadowy figures walk the streets, and ghostly lights flicker in the windows of decaying buildings. One particularly well-known and unsettling myth claims that a portal to a demonic dimension exists in Helltown. This mysterious portal is said to be hidden deep in the forest, in a location that is difficult to find. According to legend, the portal was created by dark forces and serves as a gateway for demons to enter our world. There are countless reports from people claiming to have seen or felt the portal. Some describe a sudden drop in temperature, while others report a strange feeling of fear and suffocation. Some even swear they've seen shadowy figures appear near the portal, only to vanish moments later. These encounters are so terrifying that those who experience them are often deeply traumatized afterward. Another chilling tale says that people who go in search of the portal have disappeared without a trace. Rumor has it that these individuals discovered the portal and entered it, only to be pulled into the demonic dimension, never to find their way back. It is said that Helltown was built on an ancient pagan ritual site where dark ceremonies and summonings once took place. These pagan rites are believed to have opened the portal and attracted the demonic forces that haunt the village to this day. There are also indications that in the 1970s, the U.S. government purchased parts of the Cuyahoga Valley and relocated residents, claiming it was to create a national park. These sudden relocations have fueled speculation that the government knew about the supernatural activity and the mysterious portal, and has been trying to hide or control it. It is even said that the military conducted secret experiments, sending people deliberately into the portal to find out what lay beyond and where it led. But none of these people ever returned, and they never shared what they experienced. Helltown is one of the eeriest places in the world. Its dark and mysterious atmosphere attracts thrill seekers and ghost hunters alike, all hoping to uncover the truth behind the legends. Could this place truly be a gateway to other worlds, or even the underworld? Do portals exist through which demons and terrifying beings can enter our world? A very frightening thought. Number 4. Skinwalker Ranch, the gateway to other worlds. Skinwalker Ranch in Utah is one of the most mysterious and terrifying places on Earth, known for a wide range of paranormal phenomena. This remote ranch has drawn massive attention due to reports of UFO sightings, strange creatures, and mysterious portals, all of which have fascinated researchers and UFO experts alike. It all began when the ranch was purchased by the Sherman family, who soon experienced extremely strange and unsettling events. Nighttime sightings of unidentified flying objects gliding silently across the sky were only the beginning. The Shermans also reported glowing orbs floating over the fields and causing unexplained damage to their livestock. Animals were found mutilated, as if they had undergone surgically precise procedures, with no blood or signs of struggle. Alongside these disturbing incidents, the Shermans also saw strange wolf-like creatures that seemed resistant to bullets. All attempts to shoot these eerie beings failed, as if the bullets had no effect at all. These entities seemed to appear out of nowhere and vanished just as suddenly, filling the Sherman family with terror and panic. The Shermans were not the only ones to witness these inexplicable phenomena. Other residents and visitors in the region have reported similar encounters. One of the most fascinating theories about Skinwalker Ranch is that it contains gateways to parallel worlds. Some believe that the ranch sits on a dimensional doorway that makes it possible to shift between different realities. This theory is supported by reports of mysterious portals suddenly appearing, only to disappear again moments later. Some witnesses even claim to have seen strange creatures and UFOs emerge from these portals, as if they came from another world. The history of Skinwalker Ranch is deeply rooted in local tradition, especially in the legends of the Navajo people. The term Skinwalker comes from their culture and refers to people who possess the ability to transform into animals. These legends tell of powerful shamans who perform dark rituals in order to gain the ability to change shape. A shaman is a person who practices secret rituals to gain access to spiritual beings and hidden worlds. It is believed that Skinwalker Ranch sits in a region where such mysterious rituals and practices took place. The ranch was later purchased by billionaire Robert Bigelow. He invested heavily in studying the phenomena on the ranch, using state-of-the-art technology and scientific methods. Bigelow and his team were able to confirm the paranormal activities happening on the ranch. But despite extensive research, many of the events remained unexplained, further intensifying the ranch's already mysterious aura. Are there really places on Earth where the boundaries between worlds begin to blur? Do portals exist that allow travel to faraway places in the universe, or even through time? Skinwalker Ranch might just be the key to answering that question. Number 3. The Gil Pérez Mystery. The Gil Pérez Mystery is a fascinating and enigmatic story that originated in 1593 and continues to capture the imagination of many people to this day. But some believe it's not just a legend. They see it as a true event and consider it proof of teleportation and time travel. Gil Pérez was a Spanish soldier stationed as a guard at the governor's palace in Manila, Philippines. One day, Pérez suddenly vanished without a trace from his post. What happened next is even more mysterious. He reportedly appeared at the exact same time in Mexico City, almost 9,000 miles away from his original location. When Pérez was found in Mexico City, he was still wearing his Spanish Guard uniform and claimed he had no idea how he got there. He insisted he had simply been transported mysteriously, with no memory of the journey. This statement led to astonishment and skepticism among the local authorities and the public. It is said that Pérez knew precise details about recent events in Manila, details he couldn't possibly have known unless he'd been there very recently. His claims and information were later verified, and surprisingly, they turned out to be true. This fact convinced many of the authenticity of his story. News of his sudden appearance, and the story behind it, spread quickly and sparked numerous theories and speculations. Some believe that Gil Pérez was the victim of spontaneous teleportation, an unexplained physical relocation from one place to another. Teleportation is like jumping from one location to another, as if you suddenly appear somewhere else without any time passing in between. Others believe that he wasn't teleported at all, but instead traveled through time, because when Pérez suddenly arrived in Mexico City, he knew things that hadn't happened yet, events that would take place later. That's why many assume that Pérez might have traveled into the past. The theory that Gil Pérez passed through a rip in time offers an intriguing explanation for his sudden and mysterious appearance in Mexico. The space-time continuum is a concept in modern physics that describes space and time as a single, interconnected fabric. In this fabric, events and places can be linked through so-called wormholes or rips. A wormhole is a passage through space and time that allows you to overcome immense distances or even different points in time instantly. These rifts or wormholes could theoretically appear when very strong gravitational forces or other cosmic phenomena distort the structure of the space-time continuum. This story is often cited as an extraordinary case of spontaneous teleportation or time travel, one that seriously challenges our understanding of space and time. It seems there are things we humans do not yet understand and cannot explain. Was Gil Pérez really a witness to a mysterious event that goes beyond human imagination? Was he truly teleported, or did he perhaps travel through time? Who knows? Number 2. The Gate of the Gods. Deep within the mysterious mountains of the Peruvian Andes, near the majestic Lake Titicaca, stands an awe-inspiring monument. That fires the imagination of adventurers and historians alike, the Gate of the Gods. Also known as Aramu Muru, this ancient stone structure has a fascinating history that goes far beyond the physical world, and draws us into the realm of the mystical and unexplained. The Gate of the Gods is no ordinary rock formation. Carved into the massive, raw stone is a perfectly symmetrical, rectangular opening that looks like a portal to another world. The legends passed down for generations by the local people are just as astonishing as the monument itself. The Inca were an ancient civilization in South America who built a vast empire in the Andes between the 13th and 16th centuries. According to ancient tradition, this gate served as an entryway to the world of the gods, accessible only to the high priests of the Inca. These priests, considered keepers of sacred knowledge, were said to be able to open the portal and travel into the spiritual realm of the gods through special rituals and the use of holy artifacts. These journeys were not just a sign of their divine connection, they were a way to gain wisdom and insight, which they would then share with their people. It is said that the priests could step through the Gate of the Gods and enter another dimension, a reality where space and time no longer mattered. In this otherworldly realm, they could speak with the gods, seek their guidance, and obtain knowledge that far surpassed human understanding. One especially intriguing story tells of a high priest who stepped through the portal during a great threat to his people, hoping to find help. But there are also tales of people who entered the opening and were never seen again. Researchers and archaeologists who have studied this mysterious site continue to be astonished by the precision and purpose of the structure. Some speculate that the Gate of the Gods might be an ancient star map or a type of spiritual energy source. Others believe it may be one of many forgotten portals scattered throughout the world, allowing travel to distant worlds and different times. This theory connects the Gate of the Gods with the mysterious Egyptian pyramids, which some believe are part of the same ancient network. It is thought that these monumental structures were not just tombs, but powerful gateways to other dimensions. According to this view, the pyramids may once have been used by priests to communicate across space and time with gods and other worlds, much like the Gate of the Gods in Peru. Adding to the mystery is the fact that science still cannot explain how the pyramids were built using the tools of the time. These structures display astonishing precision and are not only perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions, but also with important constellations like Orion. Achieving this required a deep understanding of astronomy and geometry. It is also believed that the pyramids served as massive calendars or observatories for tracking celestial events. This mysterious construction style leaves room for speculation that the knowledge behind the building of the pyramids may have come from a forgotten or even supernatural source. Some even believe the pyramids were built by extraterrestrials, or at least with extraterrestrial technology, in order to create such monumental structures. Yet despite the many theories, the Gate of the Gods remains an unsolved mystery. Could it be that this monumental portal, like the Egyptian pyramids, is truly a gateway to another dimension? Did ancient priests possess the knowledge to travel through space and time? Absolutely fascinating. Number 1. The incredible case of Terence McKenna. Do you believe there are things we cannot perceive with our senses? That's the intriguing question this man explored, and what he discovered will leave you speechless. Terence McKenna, a renowned American ethnobotanist and writer, is famous for his extraordinary accounts of exploring other dimensions and parallel worlds through the use of psychoactive substances. Psychoactive means a substance can affect the way the brain works, leading to altered thoughts, behavior, or sensations. McKenna's experiences offer fascinating insights into the possibilities of human consciousness and challenge everything we thought we knew about reality. In the 1970s, McKenna embarked on a journey deep into the Amazon rainforest, where he came across indigenous shamans and their ritual practices. These shamans had been using plants like ayahuasca and psilocybin mushrooms for centuries to induce spiritual experiences and expand consciousness. McKenna, fascinated by these accounts and driven by his own curiosity, decided to study these substances by trying them himself. Both ayahuasca and psilocybin mushrooms are considered psychoactive substances and therefore are classified as drugs. At this point, we'd like to mention that the possession or use of such substances, if illegal, may come with legal and health risks. McKenna, however, reported experiences that went far beyond anything he had ever imagined. While traveling into the deepest levels of consciousness, he encountered strange landscapes and worlds inhabited by mysterious beings and bizarre, otherworldly structures. He often described these experiences as hyperspace or the other, a dimension that exists parallel to our own but cannot be accessed with normal human senses or consciousness. Especially remarkable were McKenna's encounters with what he called machine elves, strange, elf-like entities that appeared in many of his visions. He described these strange elves as shadowy, non-human beings existing in a multidimensional space with a blend of biological and mechanical traits. These beings, McKenna said, communicated with him in a telepathic way and shared profound insights about the nature of the universe and the structure of reality. McKenna saw them as guardians or inhabitants of these other dimensions, helping him understand the limitless potential of the human mind. A central aspect of McKenna's theories is the idea that these parallel worlds are not just hallucinations or mere products of imagination, but real places that can be reached through specific states of consciousness. He believed that these experiences not only expand the individual mind, but may also offer surprising insights into the nature of the universe and humanity's role within it. McKenna argued that psychoactive substances act like keys, unlocking doors to these other dimensions. He saw them as tools that allow us to go beyond everyday perception and explore deeper layers of reality. McKenna's research encourages us to question our own understanding of reality and consider the possibility that there is much more to discover than we humans can currently imagine. So is the human mind capable of far more than we think? Is it even possible to travel to other worlds and dimensions through consciousness-expanding substances? A truly fascinating idea. Now we're curious to hear your thoughts. Do you believe in the existence of time travel and parallel worlds? Or do you think such things don't exist at all? Which case did you find the most fascinating? Let us know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.